Welcome to the California Community College Internship Program Information Session. My name is Dr. Kaylee Anderson-Natali, and I am the Director of Postdoc and Professional Development at UCI Graduate Division. I am an alum from UC Riverside, where I graduated with my PhD in Higher Education Administration and Policy in 2019, so I am very excited to be working with both UCI and UCR students. I administer this program alongside my fabulous colleague, Andrea Bannigan, who is the Manager of Enrolled Services here at UC Irvine. And of course, if you have questions about the program, you can always reach out to either of us. So what is the California Community College Internship Program? Ultimately, a graduate degree from a research institution really doesn't provide adequate preparation for a career in teaching. And this program is designed to address this lack of experience. In particular, at community colleges, the focus is entirely on teaching. So we want to make sure that you are getting the experience and the training that you need to be competitive for those jobs. The California Community College Internship Program offers qualified full-time UCI and UCR PhD and MFA students interested in teaching or administration the opportunity to discover firsthand what teaching in a community college environment is all about. So the core of the internship consists of trainings and workshops, teaching experiences, and curriculum development. You will be matched with a mentor at a community college in your field or a similar field. You will also learn a little bit about faculty life at a community college and the way governance is structured at community colleges. There's a focus on professional development. We do have some requirements to help you develop some job application documents like a teaching statement, and a variety of other activities involved in a community college career. For example, one thing that we are also asking you to do is some informational interviewing so you can build that community college professional network and get to know people currently working in community colleges. So what are the requirements of this program? First of all, there's a 2-quarter minimum participation with a maximum of 3. So this means that you can participate fall, winter, fall, spring, or fall, winter, and spring. You must participate in fall. You do need to submit a learning agreement prepared by the faculty and graduate students. So this is an agreement that you work on with your faculty mentor at the community college to agree with what you're going to do. How many lectures are you going to attend? What kind of materials are you going to develop? Are you going to do informational interviewing with someone else in the department? Are you going to meet with other people in the department? You and your faculty mentor are going to kind of develop a contract around those expectations. We do require that participants register in 2 to 8 units per quarter. At UCI, that's going to be Uni Studies 297, and at UCR, that's going to be GDiv 498I. Additionally, you will need to complete all summer trainings and workshops with a minimum of 40 hours involvement over the course of the academic year. You're also required to check in quarterly with the CCCIP coordinator to review the program and your progress, and both the student and the mentors, so your mentor at the community college, need to submit an evaluation about how the internship went. So what should you expect during the internship? Selected students, as I mentioned, will be partnered with faculty from one of the affiliated community colleges for a period of 2 to 3 quarters. You do receive a stipend of $7,500 paid over the summer. Students that don't complete the program requirements will be asked to pay back all or part of that stipend. Ultimately, the expectation is that if you start this program, you are going to finish it. So again, we do pay you up front, which is excellent, but we do expect you to complete this program. During the summer, there are several activities that you are being paid to do. So there's required training that amounts to about 20 hours. This includes the UCI DTEI course design certificate, which is about 8 to 10 hours of work. Community college teaching training focused on inclusive teaching practices, which is about an hour. Community college career development and IDP workshop, which will be about a 2-hour workshop. It's community college teaching and diversity statement instruction, which is going to be 1 hour. And again, we are going to ask that you develop those documents. We are expecting you to also revisit those documents throughout the year so that hopefully when you're done with this program, you have great documents to apply to jobs with. We will also hold a faculty panel of community college faculty people. And we will also be requiring about 5 hours of additional training. And this isn't set out specifically yet, but most likely what this is going to look like is you need to get 5 hours of additional training. Here's a list of things that would qualify as that additional training. Ultimately, this should be useful for you. So we are hoping to give you a little bit of choice in what's going to be the most useful training for you. For the fall, you will be required to attend an orientation at the community college. You will be required to observe in a classroom. You are required to attend faculty meetings, depending on what your contract has outlined, and you may be conducting some kind of preliminary planning for the classroom. During the winter and spring quarter, you might be participating in more of those teaching activities, some more mentoring, getting some more depth with that faculty mentor. Professional development, again, revisiting your diversity statement, your teaching statement, getting some feedback from your community college faculty person. Extracurricular support, there may be clubs on campus that you want to be part of, you may want to advise, something along those lines. And of course, whatever you are interested in and you and your faculty mentor want to agree to and put in your learning agreement, those other areas of interest we definitely welcome, and we hope that you will find good ways to incorporate your interests into this program, because again, it really should be helpful and beneficial for you as an individual. This year, we do have 3 community colleges participating, Orange Coast Community College, Santa Ana Community College, or Santa Ana College rather, and Irvine Valley College. These are all located in the Orange County area. So if you are from Riverside, there is an expectation that you would be able to make it down to these colleges for meetings and things like that, whatever is outlined in your learning agreement. So that's just something to keep in mind, that unfortunately, we were not able to establish an additional college in Riverside. We are still hoping to do so in the future, but we are making these colleges available for Riverside students if they are able to make that work. All right, so what are the eligibility requirements for this program? First of all, you do need to have advanced to candidacy by summer 2022. It is open to only UCI and UCR MFA or PhD students. So this means if you're in a master's program that is not an MFA, unfortunately, this program is not going to be open to you. You do need to be enrolled at UCI or UCR full-time. So if you're graduating this summer, you will not be eligible for this program. You do need to be in good academic standing, making acceptable progress, things like that. You will need to submit a faculty advisor form. This is simply a little form that shows that your advisor is aware that you're applying to this program. It shows that they're supportive of you applying to this program. What the approval form isn't, though, is a recommendation. This should just be a very easy thing for your faculty advisor to do. We recommend giving them a heads up, like, hey, I'm applying to the CCCIP and they're going to ask you to fill out an approval form. Just give them a heads up so they know it's a little bit different of a process, but we are also requiring a letter of recommendation. Now, if you think that your faculty advisor is the best person to speak about you as a teacher, if they've supervised your teaching, then you may also want to ask your faculty advisor to submit the letter of recommendation. However, for many of the graduate students, faculty advisors may be able to speak to you as a wonderful researcher, but maybe they just don't have the experience with you as a teacher. So in that case, you might want to look for someone who, for whom you've done some teaching, so someone who has supervised your teaching. That would probably be the best letter writer for this particular program. So again, your faculty advisor does need to submit an approval form, but then the faculty advisor does not need to submit the letter of recommendation. You just need a letter of recommendation from someone who can speak to your teaching expertise. Again, if your faculty advisor can do that, they can fill out the approval form and submit a letter of recommendation. And of course, you do need to be available to participate in the mandatory fall quarter of fall 2022, and with an option of completing the program in 1 or 2 quarters during the 2022 or 2023 academic year. So again, you can be part of this program fall winter, you can be part of this program fall spring, or you can be part of this program fall winter spring. Generally, we see students are starting at the beginning and just staying throughout the entire program. Another thing to remind you of is that these community colleges are also on the semester system. So although we have an expectation of participating 2 or 3 terms, you might also want to just take a look and see what their semester system looks like. They usually are starting in August, they're ending in May, and that may also determine how many quarters you're electing for this particular program. All right, so what are some additional qualifications? What are we looking for? First of all, we want strong written and oral communication skills. I'll go over it in a moment, but there is a statement of purpose that you'll be submitting, and we'll want you to communicate why this program is a good program for you and your career goals. What do you have to offer community colleges? What is your experience with community colleges? What is your experience with teaching? How do you know it works? What are you doing in the classroom? I would definitely tie it into your career goals. To what extent is teaching going to be your career goals? We're definitely looking to identify people who are interested in community college faculty positions. And I'd also recommend that you think about how can you appeal to community colleges generally. Do your research about the institutions. What does the student body look like? How does that change how you might instruct them? How are you going to make sure that you are adequately serving the student population at a community college, which might look very different from the student population at UCR or UCI. Additionally, we do need some flexibility in scheduling. There is an expectation of in-person visits on the college campuses, so having that flexibility will be very important. And of course, you will need personal transportation to be able to attend in-person meetings on those community college campuses. Okay, so the application for this year is going to be Sunday, March 13th, 2022 by 11:59 p.m. I have linked the application here and I will distribute these slides. All application materials must be submitted on or before the deadline to be considered for the program. Final decisions will be made by the Internship Selection Committee, and students will be notified by email in early spring quarter. One thing to also keep in mind is that the availability of faculty mentors at community colleges in matching fields might also be considered in the selection process. So we are trying very hard to match you with faculty who are in the same field as you, but sometimes that's not always possible. So you might be matched with someone in a slightly different field. For example, I know a student who had a sociology student who had been previously matched with the political science faculty. It's not a perfect match, but again, the goal here is really to build that professional network. And so it is still very helpful to have those contacts, even if it's not within the specific field that you're in. Okay, so what do you need to submit as part of this application? Of course, you will need to submit the CCCIP form and an application cover sheet. That's going to be just your basic information, a very typical application. And then you will be submitting a statement of purpose. And in the statement of purpose, you will be describing your aptitude and motivation for teaching, including your experience and future career goals. Please be specific about why teaching in a community college would be an especially good fit, paying particular attention to their diverse student populations and creating inclusive environments. This should be a 1 to 2 page document, 11-point font, double spaced, with no less than 1-inch margins. Additionally, you will need to submit that faculty advisor approval form. This is going to be automatically sent to your faculty advisor via DocuSign once you've submitted your application. So again, I highly recommend that you take a moment just to let your faculty advisor know what's going on, that they should expect that. Give them a heads up so they know not to just move on to the next email. And then finally, you will need to submit, or someone will need to submit, a letter of recommendation on your behalf. And this letter should be from someone who can speak to your abilities as a teacher. Although you may choose to have your letter written by your faculty advisor, it does not have to be written by your faculty advisor. So again, if your faculty advisor knows that you're a fantastic teacher and can speak to that, they might be perfect for this. If your faculty advisor really knows you as a researcher, you might want to ask someone who has more experience with you as a teacher. Thank you so much for your attention. If you do have any additional questions about this program, please go ahead and email either Andrea or me. You can also reach out to us by emailing the CCCIP email address, which is cccip@uci.edu. Thank you so much. We hope to see your application.